Good morning. Great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Again, the beautiful reminder of choice that we all have at every moment of our lives. Think about that. Every moment is a moment to renew, it's a moment to shift the narrative inside, no matter what it is that you're going through. And the best part about that, in terms of that choice, is that you can make anything and everything mean whatever you want it to mean. Remember, as Shakespeare shared, nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. And it's your thinking that makes it so for everything in your life. Now, why is that so important? Well, the reason why that's so important is because that's where everything starts. That's what leads you to a specific vibratory state. And that vibratory state is the attractive force in your life. So it determines what you're drawn to and what's drawn to you, what you're repelled by and what's repelled by you. All of it stems from what's happening in the mind. And again, you're the one who has ultimate control over that. And the sooner you grab onto that, the sooner you shift into gaining control of that and guarding your thoughts and only allowing into your mind thoughts that are in harmony with how you would love things to be, that's the moment everything in your life changes, provided you're loyal to it. So you've got to be firm with it. You've got to be loyal to that unseen reality that you've created. And from there will proceed the life. That's something that both Dolly and I have been working diligently on in ourselves. It's something that we were led to when we ran into this peculiar man called Bob Proctor. He was talking about all these strange things. He's talking about paradigms. He was talking about this crazy, awesome stick person. He was talking about the inner world and how that inner world resulted in the outer world of effects. And he did it in such a beautiful job, to the point of both of us, we connected to it in our own ways, which led us to build what we've built here at Elevitality. I mean, just think of the name itself, Elevitality, elevate your life, which then led to emergence, which is something that's really amazing and beautiful to help you to implement, to use everything that we're talking about. Remember, there's a huge difference between knowing about this and actually using it in your life. And the way you'll know whether or not you're in the realm of knowing it versus actually doing it, just look at your results. Your results tell the truth. They tell the truth about the ideas that you have been emotionally involved with, what you've been moving around in your mind. And if it hasn't been the way that you want it to be, then guess what? You're in the right place to help you to change that. Here within these calls, we share the knowledge, we share the information, and then it goes even further to where we help you to go beyond that liberation into the actual transformation. And that's what we've put into play with emergence. Now, what have we been studying? We've been studying this beautiful gem here, As a Man Thinketh and Out from the Heart. It's an amazing piece of work that's been around since 1903 and 1904. It's actually two pieces, As a Man Thinketh, Out from the Heart, but right now and Out from the Heart. And it's such a beautiful piece that James Allen put together to help you to understand that it's all inside. Now, with that being said, though, there have been some things that he has said that's been unchallenged for over 100 and some odd years about this. And those challenges that we're talking about are not about the truth of that it is something within that goes to the without. It's actually going deeper to understand something really, really important, is that when you go into this negativity, when you are in a state where the continuing negative narrative is playing, it's not because it's something you're choosing. It's something that's happening because of what's called your paradigm. See, that's a mental program in you that runs. And And that reveals something huge because the personal development world constantly says that. They lead from, hey, you can go this way to more of the same, to disintegration, or you can go this way to the way of growth. See, the fork is in the road. You have a choice. But if you go into that realm or back into that place where it's more of the same disintegration, did you really choose it? Now, that right there alone should cause your mind to spin drastically, because that's when you realize, if you've connected to what I'm talking about, that it wasn't a choice at all. It was just something that was happening because of your belief, because of the habits you have, which is your paradigm. So you've got to override that, and you've got to choose to let the light in. And that's what, again, we help you with here within everything that we share at Elevitality. All right, so you guys ready? Type in the comments. I'm ready if you're ready to go back into where we left off from, into this beautiful gem here, as a man thinketh out from the heart. Type in the comments, I'm ready. And let's move into this. Here we go. All right, we're going to actually start at the beginning of chapter 2. We went into the second paragraph, but again, we're going to actually go into it straight from here. Now remember, this has everything to do with you living your life and experiencing your life the way that you would love it to be, not something that's just a mere hope or a wish. We're talking about externalizing it as an outcome. And this has to do with shifting how much you earn, changing your lifestyle, your relationships, all of it. Remember, it all starts inside. And here he's talking about the nature and power of mind. And what does he say? Mind is the arbiter of life. It is the creator and shaper of conditions and the recipient of its own results. It contains within itself both the power to create illusion and to perceive reality. So let's direct this to you. Your mind is the arbiter of your life. Say that. My mind is the arbiter of my life. Let's all type that in the comments. My mind is the arbiter of my life. The kingdom of heaven is the kingdom of thought. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, is a reference to your mind externalizing results. You've been given dominion over this earth. And again, the only thing you need to do to see that this is true is look at everything in the room that you're in right now that was made. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. All things were made by imagination, and without imagination was not anything made that was made. Where is imagination? In the mind. Imagination is the starting point of all creation, and you have a mind that has an imagination of which you can imagine whatever you want. Think about that. You have no limitations except for the ones that you've agreed to. In your imagination, there is no limitation, which means that if the limitation is there, it's because of a belief that there's limitation there. So your mind is the arbiter of your life, is the creator and shaper of conditions, and the recipient of its own results. As within, so without. Your results are exactly what they're supposed to be, based from what's happening in your mind, based from what is set in your mind. See, that's what mindset is. Mindset's not a conscious thing, as you've been taught from the personal development world. Mindset is what is set in your mind. What is set in your mind? What's set in your mind are your beliefs and habits. And those beliefs and habits, they determine the outcomes. This is why I say you're exactly where you're supposed to be. If you don't like where you are, you got to change your beliefs. You got to change your habits. You got to lock into the idea of how you love things to be and be loyal to that. And if you are, guess what will show up? Everything that's in harmony with that. Contains within itself both power to create illusion, to imagine, and to perceive reality, and to perceive, to believe. And this is important. Why? Because your reality, whatever it may be, has nothing to do with the facts. It has to do with those meanings that you give those facts. And where does that happen? In mind. Now sit in that. Mind is the infallible weaver of destiny. Thought is the thread. Good and evil deeds are the warp and woof and the web woven upon the loom of life is character. Mind clothes itself in garments of its own making. Now, we went over this yesterday, but it's so good to go over it again. Your life is what's been woven into this beautiful world. What is it that created that fabric that he's talking about? It's the thought. How colorful it is, how strong it is. All from within. And again, you're the one who decides what it's going to be. You're the one that gets to use your imagination however you want to use it. Man, as a mental being, possesses all the powers of mind and is first furnished with illimitable choice. You are furnished with illimitable choice, of which, by the way, that's the only free will you have. Neville Goddard talked about this so beautifully in the power of awareness. Think about that. You are a mental being. You possess all the powers of mind, and you have unillimitable choice. There is no limit to what you can choose to think about, to think from. And that's a big deal. Why? Because it has to do with changing the results of your life, changing how much you earn, what you do for work, your lifestyle, the home in which you live, the car in which you drive, what you experience, how you experience it. It all starts inside. Now, let's pause for a moment for those who are watching this live stream. And if you're connecting with this and are feeling this, and you're saying, you know what, it's time for a change. You know what, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I would love to deliver some incredible change in my life, then do yourself a favor and participate in these calls fully. Go to elevitality.com, scroll down, and click on Master Your Mind and register for Master Your Mind. You will thank yourself later. Big time.